And the thing is, growing up in the Black community, you just can't be ugly in peace. You'll be sitting there randomly, and out of nowhere, somebody would be like, oh my goodness, she's so ugly. The other day, I got a message from a subscriber in the comment section, and I was so grateful. The subscriber said that it's okay that I'm 30 years old, not married, and still living with my mom, and I'm beautiful. And that comment just uplifted my heart so much. I was so happy. It really made my day. And I just couldn't help but think about how traumatizing it was growing up being considered ugly. It was so traumatizing. Like, I remember coming home from middle school one day, running up the stairs, like boom, running up the stairs. I went into my room door, slammed the door shut, and I'm boo-hoo crying. And my mom, she comes into the room and she's like, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And I look at her and I tell her, the kids today at school called me ugly. I can't believe the kids today at school called me ugly. And then she looks at me and she says, wow, that was so wrong for them to say that. You haven't finished growing into your looks yet. And I was so flabbergasted. My heart was broken because I was expecting her to say, oh wow, they're just jealous of you. You don't look ugly. You're a very beautiful girl. But that's what she told me. I remember being 6 years old. One of the reasons I wanted to be a doctor so much was because my mom told me randomly, and she would tell me often, she called it tough love. She would tell me, you can't sing, you can't dance, all you have is your brain. No, she wouldn't tell me like that. She would say, you can't sing, you can't dance, you're not that pretty, all you have is your brain, be a doctor. So I grew up hearing that mantra every single day, that you're not that pretty, all you have is your brains, be a doctor. So I grew up knowing already that I just didn't look the way I was supposed to look, I guess. And everybody always said my mom was pretty, so this was so tough on me growing up. And one of the features that I liked on me was my eyes. I thought my eyes were so pretty for whatever reason. So in class, I would be in class like this, looking at people in the classroom, thinking my eyes are so beautiful, my eyes are so pretty. I wanted them all to see my eyes, and I thought my eyes were beautiful, and I was insecure about my lips. So I would be in class sitting there like all day long. And one day in middle school, the teacher sat me across from this boy named Jonathan, and he started screaming, I don't want to be next to her. I don't want to be next to her. She scares me. She's so ugly. She scares me. And this broke my heart so much. Like, it broke my heart so bad. And the thing is, growing up in the Black community, you just can't be ugly in peace. You'll be sitting there randomly, and out of nowhere, somebody would be like, oh my goodness, she's so ugly. Just randomly screaming it across from the cafeteria. Like, oh my goodness, she's so ugly. I can't believe she's so freaking ugly. Like, I remember being 13 years old, and I was going to a McDonald's with my dad, and I saw a couple. Mind you, I'm a kid. 13 is a kid. I saw a couple, and they were arguing in front of the McDonald's, and there was a light-skinned man with dreads, and he was arguing with his girlfriend, and he was like, if you don't want me, fine, she wants me, and he was pointing to me. And I was a little kid. I didn't know what was happening. First of all, where was my father? How did I have a conversation with this grown man for him to use me as an example of somebody that wants him? He was like, if you don't want me, she wants me. He's pointing to me. I'm 13 years old. Where's my dad? Why was I in the McDonald's parking lot? How did I have this interaction? And then his girlfriend is like, stop mother effing playing with me. Stop mother effing playing with me. She ugly as shit. So he used me as an example of ugliness that would like him. And this happened all the time when I was growing up. I remember unprompted, just minding my business. Mind you, at this time I'm in high school. I got a nice tight skirt on, I'm feeling myself, these people been calling me ugly. So I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I don't have a face card, but I do got some body, So I have my nice tight skirts, navy blue uniform, looking like something. This girl unwarranted comes to me and says, ooh, now I understand why guys go for a fat ass over a pretty face. Wow, you're so thick. And I was so shy, and I was just sitting there like looking at her, and I was like, thank you. And my feelings were so hurt, It was like such a morally ironic thing. It was such a paradox, because I was grateful that I was thick, but at the same time I was not grateful for it at the same time, because I felt like most young men, when they were coming to me just to use me for my body, Like, if you have a pretty face, I don't feel like people are trying to use you as much. Maybe they are still trying to use you, but they're not, at least the way I saw it, they're not trying to pump and dump you, I feel like people fall in love with a face. So I was so heartbroken, because this girl did this unprompted, and I grew up in the Black community, so all I have to compare this to is the Black community. Like, so many times I would just be walking down the hallways, and people would randomly be screaming how ugly I am. It was usually Black men or Black boys screaming how ugly I am. But I just used an example about how it was a grown man at the McDonald's parking lot randomly. And a lot of times it was so cruel, because people would come up to me and be like, hey, my friend likes you. You see him, he likes you. And then he would be like, no, actually, he like you. So they're like playing around with me unprompted, going back and forth laughing because they think I'm so ugly. So it was just so tough for me. It was so tough for me, because I wanted to be pretty. So I would wear like tight clothes, thinking, well, this is all I got, Let me use that if this is what I got. But then I wouldn't like the attention that I got, because I knew deep down that they most likely don't like me, and all they like is my body. I'm just a body to them. So that was really tough. Like, I'm not lying to you. Even in college, I think I was just standing in line, and one guy screamed, oh my goodness, she is so freaking ugly. Just like that. I would overhear groups of guys. Let's say I was standing in line in the Starbucks in college, and there was a group of Black men behind me. I would overhear them saying like, but her face though. And I used to sit to myself, and I used to wonder, what's wrong with my face? And I would look in the mirror, and I could not figure it out. I was like, maybe my head is shaped weird, and I could not figure it out. I really could not figure it out. And as an adult, I'm so angry at my mom, because it's like, if your daughter is running to you crying and telling you how ugly people are saying she is, why don't you get her braces? As an adult, I had to go and get my own braces. I had to go and do that all on my own, you know? So it was very, very rough being ugly. It was so, so rough, you know? I used to be in the bathroom in high school doing my makeup over and over and over again. I would go out into the hallway and I would be like, do you like my makeup? To random people. Do you like my makeup? And if they said, no, I don't like the way the makeup looks right here, I don't like the way this is, I would go back to the bathroom and I would fix it. And I kept fixing it and fixing it. I would take, like, I would say I have to use the bathroom, go into the bathroom and fix it and fix it and fix it over and over and over again. So in college, I used to dress like a Fashion Nova model because I thought, okay, this will make me beautiful. And then do you guys remember the trend of when people had like the flower headbands? I used to wear a flower headband and a nice wig, and I used to beat my face. I used to beat it. And I was looking beautiful. I was looking bomb. And then I overheard I think one guy was trying to holler at me, and I overheard another guy say loudly, oh, she's a catfish. You don't look like that without that makeup. And after that, I started wearing more natural makeup. It was so, so tough. It was so tough. And then I finally got my look together. I've been trying to go into my Instagram and look up my old pictures when I went to Caribbean med school so I could show you guys what my look was. But I finally have my look together, my wavy hair, you know, beats. Finally had the look together. And then I come into this island and I have a breakdown and I lose myself. And it's like so hot. I'm not about to be beating my face. It was so, so tough. And then I just stopped wearing makeup. I just stopped doing all of it. I just had such a hard time. And even right now, I don't think I'm the ripest peach out there. But I try every day to be a little tiny bit better. Like this year, I told myself I'm going to try and make an effort to get my hair done more often. Like I told myself that this year, and this is the hair that I've done. I just wanted something on my head. So I've been trying, but it hasn't been easy. And I feel like because of my breakdown from Caribbean med school, I didn't really get to explore in my 20s like I wanted to. And then, hold on, in college, because I was dressing like a Fashion Nova model, everybody assumed I was a hoe. And I wasn't even hoeing like that, honestly. I really wasn't hoeing like you would think I was hoeing. I really wasn't, actually. So it was just a moral thing, because I wear tight clothes and you guys are screaming, but her face. And then I don't wear anything. And then I wear normal clothes, and then it felt like I was invisible. It was so rough. Because I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, I just don't see what's wrong with me. This is when I was youthful, okay, and fresh. I was like, I just don't see what's wrong with me. I don't see what these people are saying. They keep saying but her face. You know what? Maybe my head is shaped a little weird, you know. It was so rough, especially in the Black community. I don't know, maybe other communities do this, but people were shouting left and right and screaming at me and letting me know how ugly they found me to be. It was so rough. Actually, it's not only the Black community, because when I started working as a medical scribe, I introduced myself to one of the residents in there, and I guess like I try my best to be as pleasant as possible. So I introduced myself to him. I said, hi, hello. I'm going to be the new medical scribe. And he looks at me, and he randomly looks at me and he says, oh, hey, I'm John. I have a fiance. And I'm just standing there like, oh, okay. I didn't ask you out. I was just being nice. So a lot of men, they're not nice to you if they don't find you attractive. So it was just very, very rough. Oh, I didn't even tell you the worst part of being ugly. When I was in 10th grade or 11th grade and I had my first boyfriend, I found out that he had a bet with the whole football team that he was going to get me to sleep with him. He was just pretending to be my boyfriend. And he told everybody else besides the football team that I was his cousin. And he had a bet with the whole football team that he would get me to sleep with him. And here I am thinking this popular boy is my boyfriend. No. I'll do a story time on that, and I'll unravel it for you guys because it's very interesting. But that was some of the roughest things. Like, growing up ugly was so rough. It was so rough. Even now, y'all, I'm trying my best.